Okay, y'all. So thank you for popping on. I need to help my new girl. She's trying to pop on here and she can't get on. She's texted me. So thank you for taking the time to pop on here. Listen, I want to see y'all on here every single Wednesday. Not just this Wednesday or last Wednesday, every single Wednesday. Because when you get on these Zooms, you're going to hear something, you're going to feel something, or maybe someone says something and it just clicks for you and it changes the game for you. It changes the business for you. But if you're not popping on these, you're taking yourself completely out of the equation. So what I want y'all to do, and drop me a one in the chat if you're going to do this, set your alarm for 5 minutes before the Zoom every single Wednesday. So you're on here and there's no questions asked. Okay, so we're going to do like a conference recap. Gina, if you want to unmute yourself, you go first. Just talk about some aha moments you had, and I'm going to help my girl get on the Zoom. And shout out to her. Shout out to Gina for getting on here, y'all. She, first of all, didn't want to get on here because she's shy, but she's really not in real life. But go ahead and tell them some moments that stood out to you.
Okay, good morning, y'all. So first off, I want to say conference was absolutely amazing. So next conference, it is a must. You like definitely go. Meeting the people in person, hearing their stories, seeing where they came from, it actually makes you get to thinking. So my biggest thing that I think I took away was knowing what you're going for. Find that person that you look to and that like you see where they're at and where they came from and you want that. Okay, know who you're chasing is the words that they used. Know who you're chasing and know what your goal is. Know what that target goal is and don't be afraid to dream big. Make it a big goal and accomplish the small goals to get to your big goal. That was my biggest thing. The second biggest thing I think is the be bold and be fearless. I'm learning that right now. Being yourself, be bold, but also get out your comfort zone. Once you get out your comfort zone, it's definitely a little bit easier, but put yourself out there. Put yourself out there and be authentic. Be you. And you'll definitely go farther. I know me getting outside of my comfort zone, I've definitely noticed a difference. So thank you. That is my two.
I love it. You hear that, Beatrice? Jenny just killed it, right? Listen, the whole trip, Beatrice would not call her Gina. I feel like every other second it was Jenny, so I had to say that. But shout out to you. And you know what? Shout out to that firecracker sitting next to you who's only been in for just a few days and who is on the Zoom and is showing those screenshots and's really putting in the work. Like, seriously, shout out to that. And honestly, you didn't even seem nervous. So if you were nervous, you fooled me. All right, let's go, Christina. I'm not calling you Chrissy. Let's go, Christina. Your turn.
It says Chrissy on Zoom.
I know, but I can't do it. It's Christina.
Okay, fine. All right, so the one thing, well, there's many things I learned at conference, but the one thing that really struck me was conference was about dreams and dreaming big. And they had a couple athletes that they talked about, and you know how they train like every day to be the best that they can be. Our business is the same way. We train and then we post, we do all of our things every day to make the best out of our business. And that's all I really had to say. And I had a great weekend.
I was gonna say that's so true too. I literally yesterday, not trying to interrupt you. I literally yesterday was talking to my son. He is in sports. If you have kids in sports, draw me a two. He's in every sport known to man. And something that stood out to me with her speech though is, because she literally said that she was on an all boys team and like they tried to kick her off. And the only thing that they could go by is her work ethic and the things that she was willing to do. So I literally was telling my kid yesterday, like, hey, if you get put in the game for 1 minute, you have to make that minute the best time. You have to make that minute the moment that your coach sees you and he sees you in and he's like, dang, this kid has fire. But if you go in there and you're like, okay, I'm going to be in here a minute, then like, do you really think your coach is going to keep you in longer if you're doing crappy or if you're not giving 100%? Absolutely not. Like, it's so crazy because I literally gave him this talk and I was like, you have to cheer on your teammates. You have to be that leader. You have to be, because we're in basketball season, you have to be that person that is the leader on the floor and talking and communicating. And I went back to that speech and he looked her up on Instagram. So I thought it was pretty cool too.
Yeah, I can't find the speech anywhere because, I mean, it was truly inspiring. But I'll keep looking for it. Somebody had to have recorded it,
Yeah, I'll try to find it too. Shelly, I don't know what you got going on, sister, but you are killing me.
I want to comment real quick on what you said, that 15 minutes being put in the game. If you have 15 minutes a day to work your business, make the best out of that 15 minutes. Don't be scrolling Facebook and posting all kinds of crazy stuff. Work your business. Let your friends know that you are open.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
I'm done.
so good. No, that's so good. That truly is. I mean, I think that so often people in this business think that they have to be on their phone when I'm on my phone. And the schedule that I have is created around my family and my life and my kids. You know what I mean? And so it does not matter what time you're in that chat. If you're in that chat at 1 a.m. or if you're in that chat at 1 p.m., it doesn't matter. You have to make the best out of the time that you have on the schedule that works for you. Right?
Yep.
And I think that so often people think, oh, well, Lucy's not here. Lucy still goes back and reads the comments. Lucy still goes and reads all the things. So if you're not even putting yourself in there, if you're not even putting yourself in the chat or staying close to the chat, then again, you're taking yourself out completely and you're never going to grow because you're not willing to do the things that's needed. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I love it. Okay, Beatrice, I think Shelly was going to go, but I think she's okay. Oh, she's here. Do you want to go, Shelly, before you glitch again? Because you've been glitching hard. You got to unmute yourself. Okay, you're good.
How about
yep,
now?
You're good. You're good.
Yeah, I was thinking last night it's about time for a new laptop, and I think today just kind of proved that. All right, so what did I take away from conference? For real?
Oh my God. That is so funny. She looks like a whole GIF. Seriously. Okay. That's fine. We'll skip her while she's having some technical difficulties.
It might be our reception too, because it's like the weather's awful today and we both have satellite internet.
Okay. Yeah. Then yeah. Okay. Beatrice, you want to go, sister? Okay.
Yep. I'll go before this baby starts. Okay. So I've been thinking about it because I know that we was doing the recap and everything. And I'm going to let y'all know I went to conference with my mindset that everyone had a story but me. I didn't have this. I was homeless, that I was a recovering from drug addiction or anything like that. But then I found out when I was there that I did have a story. My main goal when I joined this company was just to make a little bit of extra money, but then it became bigger than that once I started, earning bonuses and earning money. I was like, I want to stay home with my kids, especially when I got pregnant with my third. I'm like, I tried for my daughter for 7 years and I missed all of her milestones because I was working at a hospital taking care of other people's family members instead of my own. So I said, my story is I wanted to become a stay-at-home mama, and I'm doing that, and I'm managing. And if I didn't make this income, I would have to go back to work. So the big thing about conference, and that's why everyone needs to be there, is because you hear the people. There was this one lady sitting beside this other lady, and the first lady was like, I joined because of the wraps. Her story was happy-go-lucky. She joined because of the wraps. She wanted to wrap her whole body. She wanted to afford the wraps. She was amazing. I think she should have went last because then right after there was a sad story. You know, I like the sad before the happy, but and she kind of made me realize the sad one that I have a story too because she said she was 12 years old and her mom worked all the time. She would sit by the window waiting for her mom to get home and never really spent time with her mom. And then she ended up losing her mom in a car accident that she was in too. She became an orphan and all this stuff. So she made a promise to herself that she would not be that mom that's not present. And I was like, that's my story. So the biggest thing I picked up is y'all got to show y'all story every day. If you don't know your story, come talk to me. I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you your story because everyone's got one. And that's the one thing I've got to write something out because I do have a story just like everyone else. And everyone needs to see that. They need to see you're real and they need to see why you joined this business.
That's so good. And listen, that is so true. It really is true. People can relate to you in the now moment versus in the moment that you're making thousands of dollars. I'm just going to be 100% real with y'all. And I'll just do a test just to prove that I'm right. Drop me a 5 if you feel like you could just use an extra $300 to $500 and she just flicked me off. If you could just use an extra $300 to $500 versus like you wouldn't know what to do if you got a $10,000 paycheck. Right? Like you could say, oh my gosh, I could get this $300 to $500. I could achieve that. I could push for that. But if someone tells you, hey, let's go make $10,000, you kind of just shut off and you're kind of like, I would love to make $10,000. I don't really know how I'm going to or how I would get there or what kind of money or, oh, we're going to have steaks every day. Right? It's scary and it's uncomfortable. Yeah. So you have a better story right now on your way up versus when you're already up. When I sign distributors, you can go to my page. When I sign distributors and stuff, people see my story of how I was a CNA working 100+ hours every single week, missing moments with my kids. And they can relate to that versus me going on 10 trips in a year. They can relate to me struggling. So make sure that you're vulnerable. And I can't say that word good, but make sure that you are. And if you, like she said, if you need help, reach out and ask. And I'm going to actually, I know Ashley Mayfield had shared her little prompt on how she writes her stories. I'm going to send that in the chat. I think I have it or one of us has it. I'm going to send it and that may help you too with writing your story too. So that was so good. Y'all, if you're loving this, drop me some fire. Okay, Shelly, you haven't glitched for a while. You ready to go now? Let's go, girls. Dun, 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 dun. Unmute yourself.
Up to speak. Am I
Okay.
speaking?
Yep,
Can
you're
you hear me
speaking.
now?
Yep.
Can you hear me now? Okay. I think everybody has a preconceived notion of what people at the top look like. And I was blown away that these people were homeless. There were people walking across the stage, top income earners that said, we were in a food line. Joel and Stephanie, they were having to get their food from an actual food distribution center. There were people that were homeless living in their cars. There were drug addicts that were at the bottom of the barrel. I mean, they admitted it and then they found the company and everybody has got the same opportunity, structure, your desire for better. Talking about stories, I think I've got a picture of the car that I bought when I went to nursing school. Pitiful looking something. And I drove it and I drove it and I drove it until it wouldn't go anymore, basically. Everybody else was laughing. Oh, look at her little go-kart with the top on it. Not realizing that's all I could afford. And taking the back off the dryer and praying that there was change back there. Like B said, everybody does have a story. And it doesn't have to be astronomical. You know, I died and I came back to life, and it doesn't have to just everybody's got a story and everybody's got a reason why. You can clock in for 40 hours and get paid $9, $10, $11, $12. You're going to get paid what somebody else tells you you are worth. Or you can put your mind to it, put your heart in it, put your ass behind it, and you can get paid what you know you are worth, your actual worth. A funny something, all backgrounds, all countries that we're, of course, available in. One of the people on one of the panels was from Germany. She was a great speaker, but it was a prime example of the differences in culture. And I hope nobody ever said anything to her. She was dropping. Well, let me back up. You never know when what you say is going to make a difference to somebody. So we can listen to Mark Pentecost. We can listen to the higher ups in the suits. And yes, we'll get filled, we'll get inspired. The room roared with her. Why? Because she'd be talking and she'd drop the F-bomb. She probably reached people and touched people just being real. Now, that's a difference in the culture. They use that word just like you would hello, goodbye, whatever. But the whole audience roared the whole time. So for me, I'm thinking, there's a prime example. You never know who you're going to reach. I'm probably not going to reach the 22-year-old, but 30 and up with the sarcastic and yeah. So make sure that your people, your followers, your friends know who you are. Show your face. If you're sarcastic and a little twisted, show that too, because you're gonna attract those people. Smokers and dirty joke tellers and coffee drinkers always find each other. So show who you are and find like-minded.
So good. That's so good. Truly, it really is. And listen, I drop F-bombs like that too all the time. So it literally just shows that, and I'm from the US, right? But it just shows when you go up there and you stay true to yourself, you're like, no one wants someone that is a robot. People join you because they see that you're a real person and you care, they see you. There's no question on if you're a real or fake person. They can connect with you on some level. So please make sure you're always staying true to you. Something that I really struggled with when I first started was I looked at the top income earners and there was nobody up there that was like me. Literally, truly. You saw all these like platinum blonde lipstick makeup girls in the top 150. Seriously, like this is really like legit a thing. And I was like, man, I don't know if I could be up there because I don't look like that. But then I had to like shift my mind, and this light is bothering me. Then I had to shift my mindset and tell myself, well, sister, if you're not going to be up there to prove that you don't have to be a platinum blonde with a lot of makeup on, then you're really just being selfish and doing an injustice to people that are just like you. So literally I pushed myself and I said, no, we're going to go top 150, just so when they announce top 150, you can see it. You don't have to be a certain type of person to be up there. And now I feel like over the years, you can see how many different cultures, how many different kinds of people are up there in that top 150 mark. And it's top 200 now, but how many people you can actually see that like, you do not have to be me. I do not have to be you. We can both be up there together and we can both be our own separate person. So I think that's just so cool. And shout out to Heidi. Heidi just joined in November and she was at conference. Heidi, do you want to say one thing? I'm going to call you out on the spot, sister. You want to say one or two things that stuck out to you?
Yeah, that's fine. I was a little nervous about going since I just started and didn't really know anybody. And I thought, oh, well, let me just do this since I was close and just 2 hours away. I decided just to drive there and go. And I had a wonderful time. It was beyond what I expected. And the one thing that impressed me with the conference was I mean, I know on our script it says we're a Christian-based company, but it truly, truly is. I mean, I don't think there was not one person who got on stage, from the CEOs to everybody, that thanked God first. And that really, really impressed me. And another thing that impressed me is when we watched on the road to VIP, the recap, I saw in the comments that people said they gave their heart to the Lord during a work conference. I mean, how amazing is that? And that just really, really stuck out with me. And just hearing all the stories of the people who, like everybody else said, that were low, they were living paycheck to paycheck or not even having enough, scraping by. Their relationships, their marriages were not good because they were worrying about money and arguing about money all the time, how to fix their car, how to, just everything. And there's $1 Million Club. That shocked me. When they called for the $1 Million Club people to go up on stage, I was like, what? I mean, people are making $1 million. So I've got my goals set high for sure.
I love it. I love it. And I think too, so often you go to these events, and I don't know about y'all, you can shake your head yes or no, but do you think when you go to these events that it's mostly going to be people like telling you what to do, go get sales, go do this, like, I think that most people, they think you go to this conference and they're like, go sign 50 customers, go sign a distributor, go do, like, that's exactly what my husband thought. Did y'all think that too? Because it's not like that. Okay.
My husband thought the same thing.
It's like, I took him to a conference and he said, wow, I really think that any person could really find value in this, because this is not what I expected. He said, I honestly thought that they were going to tell you how to get sales, and it was just going to be like a boring, like generic sales tactic thing. He was like, that's not it. And something that really stood out to me, y'all, when we pulled into the parking lot, we saw like a 90-year-old man. He wasn't 90, he was like 80, an 80-year-old man with an It Works hat on. And I was like, oh my gosh, he's got an It Works hat on. 80 years old. Yeah, and diamonds. Okay. So it doesn't matter if you're 18 or you're 80 years old. If you go to a conference, exactly. He sparkled more than Beatrice. If you go to a conference, you are going to see people in different walks of life. You are going to hear stories from different types of backgrounds. Literally, that's how it is. You're going to hear people on stage that have nothing to do with It Works, but they pulled them in to pour into us. And whether you realize it, whether you think you do or you don't think that you do, every single person on here needs their cup filled. Every single person does. And I think that these conferences and these events are truly, and just getting close together, are truly so they can fill your cup. I mean, they had a comedian. Okay. And I don't know about y'all, but I love comedy. And he was pretty funny. And he literally like laughed at himself on stage. Like he was absolutely the best. But it's not just It Works people, y'all. It's literally people come in, the fighter, him, other people that got on stage to pour into us. And it's important as business owners that we always have our cup filled, because I'm not telling you that this business is rainbow and butterflies and sunshines, but when you're going down in that dark level, you have to determine what you're going to do to rise up. And if your cup's not filled, you're not going to rise up. So anyways, that's what I wanted to say that really stood out to me. We do have this retreat going on right now. I hope to see every single person on here earn that retreat, because any single person can earn it. I'm not capping it at 20 people. If there's 60 people that earned it, 60 people are going. Has everyone went and looked at the rules on that? If so, drop me a 7. Yeah, let's do it. And I'm going to stop this recording. Has everyone